All right, bear with me for a moment here. Hell, I'm just trying to get used to, the whole new setup they have on this platform. Because a lot of people don't know that you can actually go live from the YouTube app itself. You can go live from, right? A lot of people are just using like StreamYard or years ago there used to be a app that was called YouTube Gaming, right? There used to be an app called YouTube Gaming that you could do a live stream from that, right? Which I don't know why, but YouTube got rid of that. I believe they got rid of that in like 2019 or something like that. But they decided to get rid of that, so now you got to use the StreamYard to go live. Or you could use the live button from YouTube. The only drawback to it is it's a little bit more difficult to use, but once in a while it doesn't hurt. You know what I'm saying? So I just had a couple of minutes on my hands, so I figured I would go live. Didn't know how much I had to do right now, so I figured I'd just go ahead and do a little bit of a live stream, right? Let me see. One thing, one thing I found funny about where I'm at, right, is they have a couple pavilions. Matter of fact, I'll show you. There's one back over there. There's one over here, and then there's actually one down in the distance over there, right? So I walked over to two of them, and in order to, use them in, accordance with their rules, you have to, for one, you got to pay them in advance, and you can only like, rent them out for like parties or shit like that, right? But I was laughing. I was thinking, it's like, wait a second. This is a public area, right? Like a public park that was built with taxpayer dollars. And then in the supposed free public park, you still have to pay them money in order to use the little pavilions that they built with your own tax dollars. I just found that to be pretty funny, man. Hell, it's like not only are they, nickeling and diming us to death in the stores when they go and shop there, man, at these stores out here, but they're making us pay for these very public parks that they're building with the tax money that they steal from us. I just personally find that to be pretty funny, man. Right? Hey, what's up, Jay? How you doing, man? Let me just grab a drink real quick. But it's sad that that's what it is, man. Not only are people paying for the parks out here by way of their taxes, but then on the second hand, they gotta also pay in order to rent out, the pavilions that their tax dollars paid for. It's just funny to me, What's this brother's name? Jaron? I hope I'm saying that correctly. Shalom, how you doing, brother? But yeah, man. Hell, out here, hey, it's just an average day out here in Babylon, man. I mean, damn, it has to be like 95 degrees out, man. Maybe 100 degrees in the car. It's, hot as shit out here. It's, luckily I got a little bit of shade, for why I'm doing this, right? Luckily I was able to get some shade, but it's like, damn, ready to, pass out, when you're just, out here walking. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's a lot of shit going on right now, man. A lot of people out here, especially in the hood. That's where I'm at right now. I'm in the hood, right? So especially out here, man. Our people, especially, are the ones that are out here suffering, right? Meanwhile, a lot of Edomites out here, and wealthy people, out there, enjoying their weekends, with these luxury, boats and shit they got, the, RV campers. Shit, matter of fact, a couple of weeks ago when I was at the Jersey Shore, I went to, what's the beach called? Jenkinson's Beach, right out here in Jersey. I went down there for like 2 days and ran into this dude who basically made all his money from like crypto. Where the guy was telling us he had like 20 million in the bank, and the dude just like 2 weeks prior, he purchased a condo that was like 300 feet from the water, right? Not only from the beach itself, the sand, but from like the actual ocean, right? It's like, damn, that's lucky to have an apartment there, literally, that close to the beach like that. But again, it shows you that a lot of Edomites out here, they're living large, man. Of course, there's some Edomites that are, suffering as well, right? That's true. Hey, the Bible says the tender mercies of the wicked are cruel. Right? What is this? Job 9:24, for the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Right? So right now, today, the earth is under the authority of the wicked. There's another verse, I believe that's Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 2. It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. Right, and that's what you see in this society, man. Right? Hell, all the statistics on, any fashion of society, they're all negative. It's all negative whatever way you look at it. Whether you look at, the children's education, where you look at the divorce rate, whether you look at the poverty statistics, all of those in general, they're just all, going up, right? All of that's just going upwards, however you look at it, and that's, that's unfortunate, but that's just what's going on out here, man. Oh, bear with me a second. Just had to check my shoe real quick. I have a pair of Crocs on, so sometimes, ants can get in there. But hell, hell, I'll even go into this for a minute, right? I show my shoes there. I only own like 3 pairs of shoes, right? I got like 2 pairs of Crocs, and then I got a pair of, steel toe work boots. Hell, I used to use those to clean, the hoarders' homes, and shit like that, back when I used to work at a trailer park. But that's a story for another time. But yeah, hell, I don't need, closets full of shoes, and Gucci, shoes. You don't need shit like that. People out here literally spending, $100 on a pair of shoes. It's like, shit. The most I'd pay for a brand new pair of shoes would be like, what, $30, $40? And even that's a little high for my standard. But people out here, they're willing to spend hundreds of dollars. Matter of fact, I remember, I want to say like 5 years ago, there was the shoe that came out. It was like a Satanist type of shoe that was literally had like a drop of human blood that was in the shoe. You can look this up. And the shoe cost $666 for the 2 pairs of shoes. Well, technically it's 1 pair, but in a pair there's 2 shoes, right? So for the 2 shoes, it was $666, right? And people were buying that shit. Like literally, they sold out in like the first 2 or 3 weeks, of having them on the market. It's like you would think, well, first of all, who the hell out here would want to buy a Satanist shoe? And then second of all, who the hell out here has the cash to, fork over for those type of shoes? Jay said Little Nas X. Yeah, but yeah, that was the character that came out with those shoes. Let's see. Jaron said, brother, World War III and then the 666 mark, or mark of the beast. I got to use code language because YouTube doesn't like certain words. So I'll call it the MO, right? I'll call it the MO just to use code language on here. He said, MO, then World War III, question mark. I went, I want to go back home to the father, bro. I felt it in my spirit. The time is short. I have dreams of having um, spiritual powers during Jacob's trouble. Yeah, man. Time's definitely growing short. Matter of fact, it even says, if you read, what is that? I want to say that's Acts 3:17. Speaks about that in the last times, people would, have dreams and see visions. And they don't even have to be, believers or anything like that. Just hell, regular people in the world, are having experiences like that, man. Matter of fact, a couple months back, there was a well-known atheist on YouTube. His YouTube channel was named The Raging Atheist, right? His YouTube channel is called The Raging Atheist, which, if my memory serves me right, I believe I actually went on a live stream with that dude before. Again, very nice individual compared to a lot of, other, atheists or agnostics I've talked to before in the past, right? But not too long ago, some things happened to this character in his life. So then he decided that he was no longer going to go under the title of, atheist or agnostic, right? So that's, it's interesting how some people can change their views, based on certain events and, things that happen to them, in their life, right? But anyway, going back to that question a brother asked, what happens first, a World War III or a Marco to be? Well, according to prophecy, what happens first is first the MO, and then after that, the, Christ returns after that time, right? And as far as the World War III, I mean, well, technically that already started, right? We're already living in that time right now, but it's not to its full extent yet, right? Like, there's not like, missiles flying or, troops being sent from America and Russia to fight each other right now, but we're certainly in the beginning stages of this happening, right? World War III, just like, what's this dude? Off the Grid Desert Farming with Paul and Adrian, right? As he says, World War III really started on February the 24th, 2022, right? When Russia invaded Ukraine. That's really when the Third World War started. But we're in the build-up right now, right? The nations are joining sides right now. Like, say, for instance, just a few days ago, Turkey is being accepted into the BRICS alliance, right? So right now we're in the stage of, nations finding who they're going to ally with, right? So, the time, as the Bible would say, right, the time is definitely short, but there's still a little bit of time left, right? And that can be a good thing as well, because people have a chance to get right? Like, people who might not believe now, they have a chance to get right, and change how they live. So again, it can be a good thing, but also on the other hand, as a believer, you're supposed to look forward to, the coming of Christ. That's in, what is that, 2 Peter 3, verse 10 on down, right? It talks about, and I'm really paraphrasing it, because I had to flow off the top of the head here, but it talks about looking for and hastening unto the day of the coming of the Lord, right? It's, as a believer is supposed to be looking for and hastening unto that day. So certainly, as a Christian or as a believer, you're supposed to, be looking forward to that. Let me see. Hey, how you doing, Richard? Hope you're doing well. I'll do what I can with that, Richard. But not that you would know how to, do a stream out in the elements, because you're sitting there behind a computer all day, man. Signs and Wonders said, hey, how you doing, Nick? Oh, and I'm going to try to upload that stream we did, like, what was it, a month ago now? What we did on that rainbow marriage, right? I don't think a lot of people saw that, so I'm going to try to re-upload that for a few other people to check it out. But that'll probably be in maybe a couple days or something like that. But Nick said, Whoa, there's a lot of there. Let me read again. Whoa, there's not a bunch of homeless and needles all over the ground in that park. What country you in again? LOL. Well, I'll say this. I definitely am in the hood here, over here in Pennsylvania, but it's this park is actually kept up relatively good, because this is like children's park over there, and all that. And then behind me, I won't show it, but there's like a baseball court, and shit like that over there. And matter of fact, in the distance over to my left, there's actually a whole stadium over there where they do like band concerts and stuff like that. Right, so this one's a little bit of a nicer one, so they gotta like keep it up. Though I can't say the same thing about the bathrooms though. Yeah, went in there, that shit's worse than the damn Walmart bathroom. Like, I mean, shit, I can't show the inside of it, but trust me when I say, the outside is kept up decent here, but the inside, that shit's worse than, a 7-Eleven and a Walmart bathroom combined. And I'm not even being sarcastic, bro. Being dead serious. Let me see. It's funny, Richard. Oh, GoPro Silver. Well, recently I got a GoPro. I don't got it with me, but I recently went to Five Below and I got like a like a cheap $5. It's actually two in one. It's on one hand, it's a GoPro stick, right, a selfie stick. And then on the other hand, I can transform it into a tripod, right? I thought it was pretty good. For $5, you can't complain. Yo, it ain't about views, man. It's not about views. Matter of fact, the truth is, the more people that you have that are, subscribed to you, or, watch your content, the odds are that you're not actually speaking what's true, right? Because again, people are drawn to, what makes them feel good, right? Like, say for instance, like, a lot of the churches out here, ironically enough, they're out there teaching that free grace, right? That nonsense, phony baloney. But again, people want to hear that because that makes you feel good, right? That's a feel good doctrine, right? People want to hear that. All you got to do is just say a couple magic words and believe that a man existed 2,000 years ago, and then basically that's it. Basically like the easiest form of Christianity, except for what Perry Green is teaching. But that fruit cake, that's a whole different stream in itself. Talking about that dummy. But yeah, people want to hear that. That's the feel good doctrine, right? To feel good about yourself. And of course, I'll be fair, right? Unlike a lot of other people, they'll lump everybody into one group. But I'll be fair and say certainly not all churches teach that way. Matter of fact, I've been to some churches before that I would say are on the right path. Doesn't mean they're correct with everything they say, of course, but they're on a right path compared to other churches out there. Like, I'll give you an example. I think that the Seventh-day Adventist Church, they're more so correct compared to the Catholic Church or Orthodox, churches, or Mormon churches, stuff like that. Doesn't mean that the SDA Church is, teaching the truth, but they're more so in line than these other churches I've seen. So again, when somebody gets something right, you got to give them credit. You give credit where it's due. Yeah, right, Nick. It's funny how some people believe that, right? Since they believe in Jesus, now it's not a sin for them to go around and like rob Walmart or something. It's like, wow, that is just, again, it's so stupid. It makes no sense, But again, the unwise and uneducated among the people that hear this, they'll just hear that and then they'll run with it. It's like, Nick, think about this, man. Like here's a whole other thing we can add on this, right? Going into the LGBT, I got to use code language here, but everybody knows what I'm talking about. I remember when I was growing up, right, I used to go to churches, right, when I was little. And I remember back then, say like, 15 years ago, 12 years ago, and stuff like that, it was just common knowledge among the people that go to those churches that, God is clearly against, rainbow marriages or, you know, um, stuff like that, right? Cross dressing. But now, literally today, you literally have pastors out there that are, rainbow themselves or have no problem with rainbow marriage. Literally, this dude, the friend of, what's this dude? What's this cat? Vocab Malone, right? The friend of Vocab Malone, his name is David Wood. That dude literally on camera, he literally put on his wife's clothing and wore that on camera. It's like, whoa, this is a world respected Christian apologist here, right? And influencer, pastor that people look up to. And he's literally here on camera, literally wearing women's clothing. It's like, dude, have you not read, what is that, Deuteronomy 22:5, right? A man should not wear woman's apparel and vice versa for the woman, right? Not supposed to wear men's clothing, right? It says all that do so are an abomination to God. So here it is, we're in a day and time where not only are they accepting rainbow marriage, but they're also open to accepting, people that want to, look like the opposite gender. And again, you see these people everywhere, man. Like literally, I can't go into a damn store without running into one of these people. And again, you can't say anything about it because for one, you could get in legal trouble, and then two, you'll be overall looked at as the bad person, to criticize or even question it. And what's really weird today is even a lot of Christians and churchgoers and churches, even they'll condemn you, right? Like if you go around and say that Jesus was not with these actions that people are doing today, you'll be condemned as the Antichrist, right? The person who's against what God says, right? Because remember, they believe that Jesus is all love, right? That Jesus wouldn't hurt a fly, so hey, if you say that he's against this or that, oh, well, that's, not loving, right? That's going against Jesus because Jesus taught love. Again, it really pisses you off when you hear people like this, people that clearly have no knowledge of the Bible. Bible talks about, they confessing themselves to be wise, they became as fools, right? And that's how a lot of people out here are, man, right? Confess to be wise, right? Like, oh, I know the Bible. Like say, for instance, like the 20 people in Perry Green's live stream chat, right, putting up verse after verse, but literally taking all the verses out of context to literally justify, evil things. Right? And again, that's what people out here are doing, right? Literally taking verses out of context to justify doing evil and wickedness. And that's a sign that we're in the end times. The Bible warned that, in the last days, men will be lovers of themselves, walking after their flesh and deceiving and being deceived. And that's what we see all over here, man. Right? That's what we see out here. It's a damn shame. Nick said, yeah, I seen that. I used to really like David Wood. But yeah, it's funny because it's like, wow, so this is a world-respected Christian apologist with like, what's he have, like 300,000 subscribers, maybe even more, or something like that. But it's like, wow, so that dude, this well-respected Christian apologist is literally going around wearing women's clothing? I mean, wow, that is just... that's crazy to me. And then nobody is going to criticize that, or very few people are going to actually question that. Everybody else is like, oh, if he wants to do that, he can do it. Then they ask, what about the verses in the Bible that condemn it? Then they'll be like, oh, well, it's new times, new rules, right? Jesus did away with all that. It's just really funny. It's just funny to think about. Let me grab a drink real quick. Let's see. Let me just hit the comments real quick. Yeah, I could agree with you on that, Richard. I could agree with with that, Richard. David definitely has some problems. you know, Being nice, right? Let's see. Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. Um, David Wood, he attacked his father. I believe he attacked him with a hammer, if I'm not mistaken. Again, I don't want to say the story wrong, but from what I've heard, because I've heard GMS or Sakari talk about it, but apparently David Wood, like in times past, he attacked his father with like a hammer or something like that. It could have been a knife, but I believe it was a hammer. Um, but yeah, that dude definitely has some screws loose. So dude's out there attacking people, and not only that, he's also out there wearing women's clothing, right? But again, those are the respected religious teachers out here. It's just a damn shame. It's just a damn shame. And then the other damn shame thing out here, man, is just a couple miles away from where I'm at, like 2 miles away in the downtown area. There's literally two churches I've seen there. There used to be one church that was flying the pride flag. Now there's literally two churches, like a mile apart, literally flying the pride flag. And then when I was at the beach, just a mile up from the beach, there was a church there flying the pride flag. So again, this is all over the country. You see this, right? All these churches that are actually, pro what the government's, pushing. And really, a lot of them don't have a choice. Some of them do, but some of them are just going along to get benefits from the government because they're under a 501c3 charter, which means, they can keep the money they make. They don't have to pay tax, but in exchange, they have to like go along with social customs, right? Like they can't openly criticize, legality or social customs of the day. Like I'll give an example. There's churches out here that are pro-abortion, believe it or not. And that seems like a weird thing to say. It's like, wow, whoever would think that in 2024 there would be churches out here that are pro-abortion. That's a weird thing to think about, but it's true. I've seen it. Not only are they pro-rainbow, they're pro-abortion too. Some of these institutions. And that's pretty strange. You would imagine that every church will be against that, but yet somehow there's exceptions. It's pretty weird. But what I find funny though is if I was to go up to one of these churches out here that's flying the pride flag, and I asked them, well, what are you guys doing? It's like, don't you know that, like, say for instance, Romans the first chapter or Leviticus 20:13 is like, don't you guys know that's in there? So why are you guys promoting that or accepting of it? Then they'll be like, oh, well, you guys, well, you must not like Jesus then because Jesus is all love. It's like, well, when the hell did it say that he's just love? I mean, didn't Christ, this is the same person that went into the temple and made a whip and started flipping tables and, throwing shit around in the temple that they used to sell merchandise in, right? So it's like, wait, what? Have you guys not ever read Isaiah the 63rd chapter? Right, when Christ was in the wine press, and he spoke about that when he makes his return to this earth, he's gonna tread down the people, right? Trample them in his fury. Read Isaiah 63. Isaiah 66 is another good one, right? But again, it's like, have these people not read this? Again, it's really shocking to me, how some of these people think out here. Let me just see the chat real quick. Nick said, the fact that all this rainbow stuff has become normalized these days is scary. Yeah, man, it is, But it goes back to what I quoted. I don't think you were listening when I said that because you weren't here. But I quoted was that Job 9:24 says, "For the earth is given into the hands of the wicked." Right, and that's what's in control of the world right now is the unrighteous, the wicked. Right, as some people might call them, the Illuminati or the elites. Right, those are the ones who are in control of this world right now. They're the ones who are behind the scenes, pulling the strings, putting whoever they want in office of these countries, and pulling down dictators that go against their will. They're the ones with all the cash, right? They're the ones pulling the strings behind the screen, behind the screen and behind the scenes. Inside joke. But if you tell people about that, you'll be looked at as like the conspiracy one. But yet the funny thing is, all these celebrities that they love and adore, they've even come out and admit, oh yeah, I'm in like some type of like group, right? I can't really, talk much about, right? A lot of them came out and said that. Like that one dude that came out on Jimmy Fallon's show, right? What is that show? Late Night with Jimmy Fallon or something like that? There's a dude that went on there, forget the cat's name because I don't keep up with these celebrities, but I saw the popular dude went on there and was making fun of how him and Jimmy Fallon and all these guys are all in some type of secret group. And, he was playing it off as like some type of joke, but you could tell it was serious as well, right? So again, like to come out in the open, or a whole other thing. What's up with all these celebrities when they do like poses for like magazines or movies or for Instagram or Facebook or whatever? You can see where they show like a one eye symbolism, right? They cover one of their eyes with their hands. It's like, why are they all doing it? Is this just like a fashion trend? No, it's a meaning behind it, right? But again, a lot of people just don't catch on to it. And that's odd. You would think some people would be smarter. They'd be able to figure out, oh, well, obviously, there's some type of, symbolism here, right? There's some deeper meaning, right? Clearly, that's what's going on here. Again, the average person just doesn't want to accept that. Either they just can't fathom that such a thing could be true, or they're just, ignorant to the fact. It's one or the other. Yeah, that's the point that you make, Nick, right? I've seen many celebrities come out. Hell, I believe even John Cena recently, he was wearing like a skirt or something like that. I've seen many celebrities, even, some of these like 7-foot tall football players, literally on, Dorito ads wearing, skirts and shit like that. Again, it's true, you see this stuff everywhere. So it's like, well, why the hell is that going on? Well, clearly, they're being told to do that by people behind the scenes. And of course, they're getting paid to do it as well. But who are they getting paid by? Well, obviously, people behind the scenes is who they're, making their millions by. You got to go along to get along. That's the view that these celebrities have. Matter of fact, a lot of them claim that they sold their soul to the devil. Which truly, if you want to get biblical on that, you can't truly sell your soul to the devil, because the Bible says that souls belong to God. So when people sign a contract with the devil, they're really just pledging their allegiance to him, is basically what they're doing, in exchange for like fame and fortune, in this life. So when they die, it's not like the devil's going to come with a pitchfork and drag their ass down the hill when they die. That's not true. But the fact that is true is they're condemning themselves, saying that, I worship Satan, right, in exchange for wealth and fortune, right, and fame and fortune, I should say. But again, when it says that they sell their soul to the devil, it doesn't literally mean that the devil owns their soul now, because God owns everybody's soul. The Bible says that, what is that scripture? Ecclesiastes 3:20 on down. Says that the spirit of men goes upwards, but the spirit of a beast goes down into the earth. And then it says above that all go to one place, right? All are of the dust, and all return to dust again, right? Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 20. Right. So again, all souls belong to God. Whether you're righteous, whether you're wicked, God's the one that has control over all of it. Right? There's not a devil that's behind the scenes like they show you in the Hollywood movies, right? A red man with a pitchfork that's torturing people in oil in hell or something like that. That's fiction. But there is a spiritual demon called the devil that can mess with people and tempt people and do things like that. That's certainly true. We see that in the Bible, like in Job chapter 2, right? Satan, tempted Job, but he got God's permission to do it, though. And that's a whole nother misconception, because a lot of people think that Satan, by his own will, is going around doing evil things. But the Bible says that Satan has to get God's permission to do things. Like, Satan couldn't do anything to Job unless God gave him the permission. Just read Job's 2nd chapter. Dick said, yeah, they can renounce Christ. Yeah, and that's basically what they do. When they sell their soul to the devil. Doesn't literally mean the devil owns the soul, like, physically, but they're denouncing Christ and accepting that they worship the devil for the exchange of, popularity and money. That's basically what these celebrities are doing in exchange for it. Let's see. Nick, what's this cat? Richard said, End Times Teacher would be a good channel for talking about the apocalyptic narratives instead of social issues. Well, I don't know what you're talking about, brother, because I've made probably 2,000 videos over the last 7 years about that. I literally just talk about this because it's what came to mind. I don't get why that's a problem. And then second of all, the social issues of the day have everything to do with the truth and exposing the world lies. Like, I don't see how what I'm talking about here doesn't correlate back to the Bible, because it absolutely does. Because the Bible says that all these things will be going on in the last times. All you got to do is read Matthew 24, Mark 13, Luke 21. Again, go ahead and read those and then tell me again that talking about modern social issues in society don't tie back to that. It absolutely does. Like, I'll give you an example. Are you going to tell me that we shouldn't talk about what's going on between Israel and Palestine? That's a social issue, right? But does that have to do with the Bible? Of course it does. It's like, make yourself make sense, right? If you're going to make a statement like we shouldn't talk about social issues, well, you should stand on that for all social issues, not just one or two that you cherry pick. You know what I'm saying? Just doesn't logically make sense. But yeah, absolutely what's going on today in day-to-day life absolutely correlates back to the Bible and is important to talk about. Absolutely. Let's see. I'm probably going to wrap up in like 2 minutes because I got to get somewhere, and just in a minute or two I got to get somewhere. So I just want to go live for maybe half an hour or so just to talk about a few subjects I had on mind. Anybody that's watching after the stream, if you made it to the end, put hashtag green for the green tree here. Let's see. We'll go to like 2 more minutes. But yeah, man, it's it's crazy, the stuff that's going on, in the day-to-day, life that we're living. Not only for people out here in Babylon, but for people all over the world. Like hell, I know that Nick, he's not living in Babylon. He's over in Canada, which is very close to the United States. But Canada itself is in Babylon. But there's certainly wickedness and evil going on over there, absolutely. Right? So I'm sure he has to deal with, the rainbow agenda and, Transformers and, stuff like that over in his country, as we talked about on his last stream we did. But all these countries, matter of fact, there was just a country yesterday, I forget it off the top of the head, but it was like one of the Eastern countries that just openly accepted rainbow marriages. And why is it that it ties back to the Bible? It ties back to Revelation 17. Right, what is that? Revelation chapter 17, verse 18. It says, the woman you saw is that great city that reigns over the kings of the earth. Right, what does it mean to reign over them? It means that they basically get their influence and their power structure from America, right? All these nations around the world, the people there, if you ask people, well, where do you want to go? If you could go anywhere in the world out of the 195 countries, where would you go? 90% of people would say, I dream about going to America and setting up my life. Why? Because America is viewed as that golden city, as it refers to it in, what is that? I believe that's Isaiah 14, right? It refers to it as that golden city. And I believe it's in Jeremiah 50 or 51 as well, talks about that. But again, yeah, going back to scripture, right? Revelation 17, verse 18, right? The city that you saw is the great city that reigns over the kings of the earth. That's America, right? America reigns over the countries on earth, right? They all get influence to push these agendas and laws upon their population, right? They want to set up their societies after the customs of the United States. And we see it every day, right? You see it every day. People wanted to follow after the customs. Hey, how's it going, Rebel Nazarene Shalom? Hey, how you doing, GTF? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, good seeing you too, Nick. Yeah, Nick said, yeah, they want to come here until they get here and realize they want to go back home. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point, man. Hell, a lot of people that come here, they find out quick that it's not the utopia that they thought it was, right? So a lot of people want to end up backtracking and getting out of the country. Not everybody, but there's certainly some people out there that view that after they, come here and establish themselves. They find out it's like, damn, it wasn't worth it. It's like, shit, let me tell you something. Say $100 in U.S. currency can get you like what? 2 bags of groceries from Walmart, depending on what you buy. Sure, that's, say for instance, it's in this society, it's costs less to eat unhealthy compared to eating healthy. It shouldn't be that way. Like somebody who wants to eat fruits and vegetables, and meat, they should be able to afford that before somebody who wants to, eat cakes and, Twinkies and chocolate and, shit like that all day. But the opposite is true, right? You can afford to eat all that garbage for a cheap price compared to the vegetables for the expensive price. And we're not even talking about organic. We're just talking about, simple everyday vegetables. Nick said, in the Philippines you can live good on all 500 a month. Yeah, that's true, man. That's true. Again, I was saying that, hell, $100 here, you can get like 2 bags of groceries. But yeah, if in the Philippines or India, you can take that $100 and get the equivalent of $500 or $300 in their currency if you exchange the U.S. currency into their local currency, right? They can get a hell of a lot with that. But all right, guys, I'm gonna call that the stream there.